You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AFTERBUZZ TV for Scouted. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Scouted news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AFTERBUZZ TV for Scouted.
Woo!
Hey.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to Scouted. And there are my model beats, DJ Jessie Janity. I'm not single, but I'm putting my hand up anyway. It's a dance party. Every model show is a dance party. There are not enough dance moves on that side of the table.
Well, according to the U.S. government, I'm single, so I guess I can still dance. I still don't have a ring on it.
I'm in a domestic partnership. Anyway, welcome to the second episode of Scouted. I'm Jackie Miranne, and we have so much to talk about, but let me introduce my amazing co-host tonight. Back with us, we have Kendra Kabasele. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome to LA.
Thank you. That's right, everyone. I'm live in LA. Last week I was bi-coastal New York, and now I'm partying with my girls.
Woo!
And welcome Kristen Carney.
Hi.
Writer, comedian. What else? You're everything.
I'm a freak. Just say freak. Just say freak.
Well, that's the point of Scouted, though. They turn freaks off the street into models. It's a Cinderella story, so they say. But Brittany Brower may have something else to say because she's joining us. I roped her in from America's Next Top Model, and now she's joining us here. And Brittany, I'm so excited you're with us because tell everyone your experience in this category. Brittany Brower Models.
Yes. I just started my own agency. It's kind of a mother agency, and by mother I mean no, not for pregnant women. It's kind of the same thing where people come and they're interested in getting to modeling. I train them. I teach them how to walk. I teach them how to slate for auditions. I teach them a little bit about TV commercial, and then I just give them a nice lecture about the industry and how a lot of it is quite shady and there's a lot of negative things, but I also focus on all the positive things about the industry. So, and then help certain girls get signed. I help get them signed with larger agencies.
So like the way we see Paige Parks on the episode, or Erin, in Utah or Texas scouting these girls, that's what you're doing as well now for...
Right. I did this a lot in Florida. My own personal mother agent, who's also a best friend of mine, Marcia Dahl. She has Marcia Dahl Models out of Tallahassee, but she does all of Florida and send them to New York, and she does like this model boot camp where I go with her, and we've always trained all these girls, and I've been doing it, honestly, teaching since I was about 16. I started actually teaching for her and doing this, and so now that I'm doing the Marcia Dahl Models now on the West Coast, but Brittany Brower Models.
Nice. So see, ladies, I know you're all looking, you're looking at us like we have 5 heads, but this is how it works. Hence Scouted, I think. So what do you think of Scouted? And Kristen, I want to go to you next because you are new to the show this week. What do you think of it as a whole, your initial thoughts, how it portrays this part of the business compared to you actually doing it in real life?
Right. It's pretty accurate, and this was my actual first episode that I watched, but it's kind of like that. Marcia and I both would find girls, some of the best girls, in the most random places. We would go look in small towns, like really small ones, and do like little kind of casting calls, and you'd be amazed at how many diamonds in the rough you can find in these small little towns, like really good girls. And we just always it's so funny because we had talked about wanting to possibly do a show kind of like this at one point, and going around to all these really, interesting, I'll just say interesting little towns with interesting little people in them. And we would do this kind of thing, and that's how you find some of the best people. So it's kind of always random how you find them. Like her parking really quick and running, and Paige and finding that girl in a parking lot. It does end up being like that a lot. A lot of malls. I would go to malls all the time and look.
Now, it does, but it also goes both ways. Actually, Kendra, you were telling us you were scouted a little while back, right? Your moment being scouted. So it really does happen. I think what I want to throw out there is because I've been scouted in a million different places, but sometimes you don't know when it's safe and when it's not safe, because then there are those people that come and find you and say, come into this place, and it can really go wrong too.
Right.
So I think with all girls out there looking at this show and thinking it's going to be Paige Parks or Brittany Brower coming up to you, you also have to be careful too, because you never know who this person is and what they really. You have to look up what they give you on a business card before you go
look
in.
it up. Get the card. Look up their name. Do your research. Don't just go into some blind situation because, like I said, the modeling industry is very dark and dirty.
Well, I actually, I was at I was at an elementary school this weekend. I don't want to disclose why because it's humiliating. However.
Well, please tell us now that you said that.
I was at a craft fair. It's humiliating. But I'm not into crafts, I swear. But this older guy, he was probably like 55 or so, and that's like being generous, came up to me, and I'm not a model. I'm not horrifically ugly. So
you're gorgeous. Keep going.
Like I just, I'm not
Your
tall.
eyes are gorgeous.
I'm not tall. I couldn't pull it off. I did Virgin Airlines modeling though once for their like billboards. But that's not my entire experience with the whole thing. However, this guy came up to me and he had like athletic shorts on and just like a t-shirt and a giant belly. And he was like, "You have gorgeous eyes." And it's like, first of all, you're like, okay, you're older and that's creepy and I'm at a craft fair. What are you doing at a craft fair? Like, are you looking for women or children? Because he looked like
that's when you
like
need
he
that
looked like a
pedophile
perv.
app
Right, exactly.
Pedophile is
exactly. And so he said, "You have really pretty eyes." And I was like, "Well, of course I do, thanks." And I kind of just played it off. Usually I'm not really good at getting people to go away because I seem to be friendly. I don't want to offend people. I just will do it behind their back. But
She'll
left.
do it right to your face.
Yeah, good. Well, that's good. He walked away, and I was like, "Oh my God, that was great that he's gone." So I started going to my car, and this was probably like 45 minutes later. And of course, as soon as I was walking to my car, he was coming around like directly at me. Not that he knew that was my car, but he was kind of like hanging at my car, and I was like, "Oh, of course." So he came up to me, and he's like, "I know I told you you have beautiful eyes, but have you ever modeled before?" And now it's like, dude, okay. And so he goes. And this is where it's weird because if someone's legit, he said he was a photographer. If someone's legit,
they always are photographers.
Right.
Come to my studio.
Right. Just because you have a Nikon does not mean you're a photographer.
Right. It's a disposable camera.
Yeah,
a
good old Kodak.
Like an underwater one when he drowns you. But he goes, are you a model or whatever? And so when I knew it was like super creepy, he said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Kristen." And he goes, "What's your last name?" But it's like, why instantly is that important to you?
Right.
Like that information right now in this moment isn't important.
Not important.
And so he goes, and my license plate is a dealer plate right now, and it says Santa Monica. And so, of course, he's like, oh, first he's asking for my last name, and then he's like, "Do you live in Santa Monica? Where in Santa Monica?"
Oh, my God.
And it was like, it was before I watched this, but all I was thinking was like,
and first of all,
if I was really stupid, which I kind of am, but if I was like super stupid...
And I was nodding my head when you said that. I was not agreeing with you.
Yeah, she was.
No, yeah.
If you're kind of, naive or you're desperate.
Or really excited, like really young, and you hear someone does something like that, you're like, "Oh my God, really? Yes, I live on this street.
Right.
Come over now. I have pictures at home."
I usually shower at 3. My door's unlocked. Like,
yeah.
So it was kind of, the creepy side of this whole thing.
Right.
True story though, a lot of agents and scouts, because I go to these conventions all the time looking for new talent and stuff with Marsha, but a lot of agents and scouts are really ugly, unattractive people.
Yeah,
it's
almost like
they're like the fattest
searching.
people.
It's almost like they're searching for like that beauty that they've always wanted.
Yeah,
right.
It's like, okay, you're obviously a scout and you're looking for it because you'll never be it.
Right. I almost last night when I was watching this on my couch, I was feeling really pathetic, and I was like, I could be a scout because like I'm not it, but like I see it because I like desperately want to see it in myself. But then I was like, no, Kristen, you're just feeling sad, and you're like, whatever. But
well, but that's the thing. Are there a lot of copycats out there because of this show?
I don't know if it's because of this show, but it's definitely picking up buzz. I mean, just with its second episode, it's been getting amazing reviews in New York Times, New York Post. I mean, 69%, I think, positive ratings. So I mean, it's what I like about it is, yes, it does kind of do the Cinderella story side of this. There is the brutal side, which they're not showing, but it is more fun to watch that way because people don't want to accept that these stories really do happen, but they do. So it's good to be smart about both ends. But, you know, I think it's just getting a lot of buzz because it's really, they're calling it more than a reality show, a docudrama, because it is a very accurate, and you can attest, portrayal to how this beginning process goes.
Oh, and I meant copycat scouts, like these amateur.
Oh, that's
scouts.
been going on forever.
Yeah,
since
I
Oddly.
think
a lot of photographers. Let's put it in quotes. A lot of photographers that's come and your model want to shoot you, and I've actually had this happen to myself when I was younger.
That's how creepy they are.
No, but they shoot. But they like, okay, this is a true story. I had the same kind of thing happen to me back home, and I was young. I was stupid. I think I was 15 years old, and I'd been modeling for a little bit. But it was like, this guy, you know, came approached me. He's like, I'm a photographer, da da da. And I get to his house, and he was like really pressing me to get topless. And they all try to do that. They want to get you topless.
Right.
So I did. But no.
Why am I not surprised?
Of course, no, I'm kidding. But or maybe, I don't know. But anyway,
No, you didn't. Right?
I'm just kidding.
She didn't.
No, but it was really. I mean, that happens all the time. All of the time. That's why your parents need to be completely involved if you're young and getting started in it. You're, never go to anything without your mom, especially in the beginning. Once you're signed with an agency and you're actually going on castings, no, don't bring your mother to everything. That's really annoying too.
Yeah, we saw that last week, right, Kendra?
Yeah, it's
oh
like
my
you
God, the
cannot
momager.
shake the parents.
Well, and also it's not just. I mean, obviously there's the dark side of wanting them to take your clothes off, and they'll take pictures in that sense. But I actually went to something. They were looking for scouts, and this was when I was in New York, and. Not to model or anything.
Scouting for scouts.
But yeah, so I answered an ad on Craigslist. I went to this agency, and it's funny because I saw a few people who I had gone to school with as actual models, like in the agency, and I was like, oh wow, like this is legit. And we sat in and we had this seminar for a long period of the day, and they gave us all this paperwork and all this stuff, and they were teaching us of how to get people. And so it's not only just the pictures, but one thing that I've learned from other model friends is that if someone wants you to model for them, you don't have to pay anything.
Right.
So what I came to find out, I sat in this thing, I was like, wow, I'm going to make bank if I work at this place. I can find beautiful people all over the place. I'll be great at it. Come to find out, it's one of the biggest scams in America, this company.
I bet I know which company it is, too.
I talk about the same thing in my classes, the same kind of stuff we discuss. You should not, starting out modeling, should not be as expensive as a lot of these schools that are money makers, and they promise to get jobs. First of all, you can never promise to get a job. I mean, they do. They promise, they get these young girls in. They tell them they need to spend $1,000 on photos.
Right.
And of course, it's with their photographers, so they're getting a huge cut. And then they tell them that they need to new clothes. I mean, it's amazing the stuff that they make them do, and make them go to all of these classes when you really don't need to do that.
Yeah, they're using young people's hopes to make money.
Absolutely, and when you're first starting off, just to get an agency, just to have someone look at you, they're always going to use their photographer to do test shots like we see on Scouted. They have their own photographers, so you don't need to go in with like the most ridiculously expensive photographs when you're not with an agency yet. You just need to get really basic ones so they can see how you photograph, and they're going to go from there. They can see it like that. They know immediately if you've got it or if you don't.
Right. If they're really interested, they're going to front the costs. You will. We talked about this last week. You will have to pay them back. It's not an endless pit of money that they're throwing in. That's all going to come out of your first paychecks.
Right.
Don't forget. But they will front the money. I mean, there are the cases like a convention where you may have to pay to do that, but you have to go into it. If you do pay for something like that, like a big convention, there's a big one in New York every year, you can pay the money, but know that it's a risk, and sometimes it is worth it. But
they can be great,
right?
Especially
it's
when you don't know where to start. You want to do this. You go and you sign up for a convention, and you go in, and it gives you the chance to perform in front of these big scouts for huge agencies. So it can be a good thing, but yes, it is a risk, and you have to know that there's a very good chance you still still at the end of the whole entire convention will be walking out there, walking out of
With
there with nothing.
Right.
But if it's something you want, and I used to go to conventions when I first started off, and you know,
I did too.
First convention I went to, I didn't win anything.
Yep.
And the
Me
second
too.
second convention, I won first place in all of my categories and got callbacks. And then the third one, I won overall.
I bet we were at the same conventions and we don't even know that.
Right? So it's just
So
something
there
you
you
just
go.
have
We
to
weren't there.
keep going.
Well, this is something that I think Scouted is bringing that America's Next Top Model hasn't, which I love watching America's Next Top Model. However, that's not the normal process for a model getting into modeling. You have weeks and weeks and weeks of somebody posing you and airbrushing your photos and going on exercise things to like make yourself better. That's not realistic. So this
unrealistic challenges for sure.
Right,
It's
like,
not.
If anybody knows this, it's Brittany Brower, since she was on 2 seasons of America's Next Top
Right.
Model.
Yeah.
But, well, what I like to say the difference is America's Next Top Model does a simulated, crazy portrayal of what happens after you get scouted. Like when you're in that real world.
Right. That's what they're trying to make it.
super exaggerated.
It's Tyra's imagination of what she actually knows and lives.
Like when we did a, what was it, Lubriderm shoot on my first, on cycle 4 over a real crocodile. Her name was Mary when we were in South Africa. When they painted me up as a giraffe and I had like the Lubriderm like kind of tucked in me. I mean, that's not, you would never do that before. That was just a crazy, like very exaggerated what a first, like a real job could be.
Yeah, and it's fun to watch both as someone not in the industry because it's like, oh, that's fun and like very dramatic. But then this is way more, like,
real.
It's just a real depiction, so it makes it interesting.
Shows how they kind of, people really do get founded, and then what they have to do in those steps. It's not just an agency sees you in the street and signs you immediately. They still test you. They want to make sure you actually can move, and how your attitude is, as we see in this one.
And, what I wanted to ask you, Brittany, is if you have any kind of limitations on age, because this week's episode 2 of Scouted, to me, shows a very distinct difference between Kelsie, who's 20, been through a lot, and Valenteen, who's 16, and, well, I don't want to be mean to you because you're too young, honey. But
I'll be mean to you. You're awful.
Yeah.
See, she would probably cry if she was watching this.
That girl does not cry.
Yeah, no, she had. She wasn't. She didn't have any sort of like real. If you're real,
She was, like,
you'll know
numb.
that this is an opportunity. Right. She was more concerned with what she would wear to the prom or something than she was to this. So she was just way too young.
I think she was real, but she was
she
real
was
in
too-
her own her own world.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was 15 and 16, I would have freaking murdered someone to be in her.
Exactly.
Sure, her priorities. She just truly, they nailed her. She just really did not care.
She didn't get it. She's too young. But it was one of those situations where you wanted to shake her and be like, when you. In 4 years, you are going to be kicking yourself.
I thought about that.
You're going to be so upset at yourself for doing that.
She's going to be so upset later on when like kind of reality hits in, probably when she graduates high school
Right.
and realizes she's as dumb as a box of rocks.
Right.
And she's like, crap, what am I going to do with my
and
life
she's 4
now?
and has to work at
the
Gap.
Go have fun at the Gap when you should have been doing the ads for the Gap.
Exactly.
Or as quickly as seeing the episode and her friends calling like, what happened there?
Well, it said at the end that she grew to like her hair.
Yeah.
Just shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
These people clearly know what they're doing.
Right.
It's not like you're getting in an airplane with people who've never it's like you're always in with experienced people doing this kind of stuff.
But there is a fine line between trusting your own instincts and, being teachable, as one of the tips that Michael Flutie gave, because you do have to stay true to a sense of self, too, but there's that fine line, and she was way over the line to the right.
And they kind of liked it. I can't remember the one lady.
I was shocked. I was shocked.
Who said, I kind of liked it a little bit that that is really ballsy, because I can't say that me at 15 or 16, I would have been, that's just not my character. I would have been more like, oh, whatever y'all want kind of thing. Whereas I got to give her some credit for kind of, that there is a sense of that is kind of like, well, at least she stands up for how she believes. But there has to be a time where you give and take on something. She was just negative about almost everything.
Well, she stood her ground, but against them, rather than like showing strength and willingness because she wants it. She was showing resistance, which was the problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like people were asking her to go against her beliefs or something like that. She was more like, I don't want to do that. I don't like this dress.
It was more spoiled bratty than it was convicted to these moral beliefs or something.
If she didn't like the dress, she could have easily been the best way to do it, because it is her test. Be like, I don't feel as comfortable in this.
I think I might not show my true self.
Right,
I would like to try something else on if that would work with you. Okay with you guys. Obviously, she's too young, I guess, to think that way. And said she was just like.
Yeah.
But Brittany, what would you teach your girls in your classes? Would you?
Oh, I'd bitch slapped.
They'd have a big mark of that ring.
Oh yeah, I'll be. Don't you ever act like that again on set? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't hit or beat my students.
I think I'm going to move a little bit to the right.
Yes.
How realistic is it that you can go in there and say, I don't want to wear this dress?
It's not. It's not. And
that's surprised.
And that's one of the things I honestly do in the speech, in the teach, in the class is when you have an opportunity to like that, you just have to. You have to be professional, and you can give your opinion to a little bit, but as soon as it's negative, and as soon as you are acting like how Valenteen acts, and that would never fly. No wonder she actually really is beautiful. She's skinny, and I thought she looked phenomenal.
Yeah, she looked great.
I think I could totally see her working, but look what happens. This just shows you, hey, this is a lecture I should be giving to some America's Next Top Model All Stars. Your attitude absolutely will make or break you.
Yeah.
I think there's a very fine line of just being strong and taking up for yourself, and then just being extremely unprofessional. And
well, I think for Valenteen as well, there was a disconnect between what she looks like, because she's actually pretty artsy looking. Like, she's interesting. She's not the mall girl who, she looks a little bit more European modeling in a way, but in her head she's this like soccer girl tomboy from America she doesn't see how interesting she actually looks.
Right.
And so I felt like there was a disconnect. Exactly.
She doesn't get it.
With Kelsie, was it? What was the other?
Yeah, Kelsie.
She was very Italian model looking or something, and she got that and she embraced it, and that's just who she is because she's been through more. But I wish Valenteen understood that, because she would have been able to grow within that couple of hours of the shoot.
That's the only problem that I have with girls being scouted rather than girls going into open calls.
Right,
because they're not asking for it, so you don't know what you're going to get. They were asking Valenteen to come and do this. She doesn't read up on fashion. She probably wouldn't even be able to name 5 designers. You knew from the second she was at that soccer game and not even listening to the first sentence that her head was not in fashion at all. And you really, like any other industry, it's an industry, and you have to be committed. And the way you would go into a job interview and prepare for like 10, 20 questions, whatever, you have to do that with modeling in a different way. I mean, it's not as serious, so people don't tend to take it as seriously because it's more of a creative industry, but you need to know your designers. You need to know how to dress. It's like all that stuff. And yes, that's what this stage is for. You discover whether you're going to do that or not. And clearly, she didn't make any strides in the right direction, starting from that soccer game where she didn't get through a sentence. She was thinking, her reaction when they said, you're going to go to New York, I'm looking for exactly what she said, because it was like, boys, travel, like as if you're going to travel right away and like travel the world. And, traveling,
Stardom.
Spotlight, and boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
No.
my.
Right. Oh my. No way. So you knew she was just not in it from the start. They tried to make it seem like she was having a transformation at the end, but I don't even think she did. I don't think she ended up looking good really on camera at all because of her, and it really was because of her attitude. She didn't bring anything.
She didn't bring any
She had a bad
personality
energy.
at all.
Yeah.
But bad energy. She didn't bring, even if she had the little negative thing, if you don't like your hair, I just wish I would have seen her be like, well, I don't like my hair, but hey, it's cut already. Let's do this. You can. That's my biggest thing. I'm sarcastic all the time. I just make it a joke.
How were the makeovers for you in America's Next Top Model?
I really lucked out. On my first cycle, they just really. I had already had bangs, and then Tyra was like, "We're just gonna blend out your bangs more," and so they blended them out more. And then it wasn't that was really it. So I didn't get messed up. And then this one, they did the makeovers after I was gone.
You escaped the
So I gave myself my own makeover.
Yeah, your hair is longer all of a
I
sudden.
know, it
looks
grew
gorgeous.
a lot. I take horse vitamins.
Speaking of horses, you just reminded me of Bar Refaeli. Not that she's like a horse, but you're going to see why in a second. No, because Valenteen got to meet one of the most famous supermodels, like, in the world, Bar Refaeli. And, I mean, I don't think that meant anything to her, and that's how you know she's not in the right business. You know, this was the thing that was going to come and go. First of all, she's just so gorgeous, Bar Refaeli. I feel like, you know, she's just is where she is for a reason. She's someone who started at 15, she said. And she said, be you. The only thing you can bring that's unique is you, because there's not another you. You know, I don't even know how she took in that moment, but you would think that she would come off of that. Like, if I met one of those supermodels, I mean, you got to work with one and your dreams were crushed, so were mine. But in that moment, the way it was for her, like, she should have been falling on the ground, like, so excited, you know what I mean? And then, so the reason I was reminded of horses, because she did a walk for her, and they liked her walk. I did not even like her walk. I mean, there was just nothing I liked about her. And she's 16, and if she's watching, I want her to turn it off because I feel bad. I would not want to mess with someone who's 16, self-esteem. But
I really think she's going to be okay.
Yeah, the thing is, I think if she doesn't, she's not, you know, dreaming of becoming a model. She's fine. She's not thinking of.
And that's different too. Like you're saying, people who are scouted, that they didn't try for it. Like you have a girl, like people that go to take classes, they're trying, they want to be a model so bad, they're buying the Vogues and the glamour magazines, and they're looking at the fashion. They like really aspire to be those models, and those are the girls. A lot of times are going to have that better personality or that better work ethic and want it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it'll come across like, okay, you need me to do this? I'll do this.
Yeah. Right.
You need me to fly? I'll fly.
Yeah. Right.
I mean.
And that's where it'd be cool to talk to the producers to see, you know, what premise are they going by? And are they going on the assumption that all girls want to be models? Because everyone they're approaching isn't going to.
But I like that. I like that she sucked this week.
Well, that's fun to watch.
Yeah,
well, because
it's good TV.
Like,
and
you know.
it's so realistic because there are so many train wrecks that come in.
Oh,
and
no,
out.
I've met so many models that are first getting started, even with Marcia and I, that they're just, I'm like, what are you even doing here? Why do you even want to do this? They don't want to get up, and I'm like, all right, you have to do, we were doing runway now, and it's like, I don't want to.
They're the girls that drive that joke of like, oh, you had to turn on the runway. Oh, that's really hard.
Yeah.
You know, like that girl that you're watching. It's like, it's not. I mean, it is hard. I know there's things about it that are hard, but it's like,
Runway's
don't
not
feel
hard.
so sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting primped. And like, it's a cool opportunity. Stop being spoiled. Stop being a brat.
Of girls all want to do it and be it. So it's kind of like, look at the good in all of this.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
Well, and you can see the difference in Kelsie. She
Exactly.
was like beating herself up because she couldn't get her walk right. And
I want to be Kelsie so bad.
Well, you actually look a little bit like her.
Do I? Okay, good. I did
I
my
actually
makeup
think
to
you're
look
a
like
prettier
Oh,
version.
thank you.
I'm sorry, but
I like her
Kelsie's
face.
pretty
It's
too.
like
She's interesting.
Yeah, she's interesting.
She's interesting, and her body, I like her.
Well, I don't know if I like her body so much because she's
very
very
skinny.
thin. I
Yeah.
mean,
See, I always, of course, want to be just like her.
no, I mean,
Obsessed with anorexia.
oh my god,
the most
you're
attractive-
a mother, agent.
The most attractive disease.
It is so attractive. No, I would never, and I'm just joking. Y'all know I just joke a lot. I'm just kidding. I obviously am not anorexic. I eat all the time. I'm starving right now. I can't wait to get home and eat.
Let's go eat after this.
Us too.
Anyway, but you know, I think that's the difference where this is a Cinderella story for someone like Kelsie, because look at what she's been through. I mean, the thing that I like about this show that wouldn't really happen in real life is the way they get into the human interest side of it and their background stories. I mean, when girls really go into agencies, I said this last week, they don't sit around and say,
They're
what
hard-asses.
happened with you and your mom, and let's talk about it, and you're going to
Are you-
reconnect.
Oh, so you used to do drugs. Okay. No, they don't care.
Yeah.
They give you. Well, never mind. Never mind.
I thought the same thing. They were like, well, she's going to have to move to New York, and, you know, there's going to be drugs around. She's got to be able to fight against that. I'm like, don't even act like you're not the one going to be supplying it.
You said it, not me. No, but so I do like seeing those stories, though, and I'm glad they're doing that with this show. And Kelsie, with her mom, first of all, overcoming the drugs, cleaning whatever she was doing, cleaning houses, getting kicked out. I mean, her mom seemed like a really nice person when she was on camera, so I was surprised at that background.
Yeah.
But the way she was just like, I just wanted to come back home, like you felt so bad for her, and it made you root for her even more. But where that translated to me was her pictures, because instantly when she was taking pictures, the Polaroids, her first Polaroids ever, so much depth and emotion came out of her, and you can't fake that. It's either there or it's not.
Right.
And that's what really played well for her, because she was instantly had that it factor on the camera, I really thought. And that was really amazing to see.
Yeah, she definitely went in that deep
deep spot. Which
Yeah.
Definitely. I actually made a note. I'm like, why is it all the best models, all of these troubled backgrounds or whatever? That's why I couldn't make it. I have a great background, great life growing up. I'm like, Mom, Dad, why didn't y'all get divorced and leave me on the side of the street somewhere?
Right.
Or I needed something to pull from.
Yeah.
That's why I get in trouble now because I'm having to make up for it really late.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do the girls do who have good lives and still want to be models?
They don't make it. I've always done that in top model, even competing. I'm like,
They get depressed like too late in life. Like it should have happened earlier so they could bring it. Now they're depressed like when they're 50.
And now they're all like the girls on the show and stuff. They're like, oh, she's crying, she's upset, she's talking about how her dad left her. Oh, she's not going anywhere this week.
I did kind of have a little bit of a beef with Kelsie's mom because if you have to kick your daughter out, that's fine. But she said something, and I wish I wrote it down because I thought it was kind of just funny timing for her to say it. But she had kicked her daughter out when she got into drugs, and regardless, her mom was an alcoholic. It's like, okay, you made mistakes too. You shouldn't kick your daughter out. The first mistake she's making. However, her mom said when they were eating, they were sitting down, and she said, with this opportunity, or something like, with this opportunity now, I'll never kick you out again.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
like
it was
why?
almost
Because
like,
now I'm a model?
yeah, because now you need my money.
Because now I'm like making something of myself.
Right.
And probably gonna make a lot of
Now
money.
you're not embarrassed of me
and
around
I'll
your
be
friends.
and I'll be in magazines. So now it's okay.
Right. It made me so mad, and she was just like, "Thanks, Mom," but she should have been like, "Bitch."
Yeah. Right. I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, how convenient your timing is.
I mean, I do the same thing, but if I was Mom,
No, I actually saw that right here. She said, no matter the outcome, you're a model now. No matter what, I'll always be there for you now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, now you're a model.
You're
now
a
I'll
model
be there.
now. You're a model now. Guess what? Guess who's here?
Big Mama.
Mommy.
And here's my bank account number.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Deposit here.
Right.
It's amazing, though, because this is someone who definitely needs self-esteem and definitely may find, I hope she finds it, because it's an industry that could really question your self-esteem. So I don't know which way she's going to go in the real world.
It's a tightrope.
Yeah, because even when she put on that Valentino, she was like, I'm not worth this Valentino.
Yeah.
You know, you can see that she needs to find her own inner self-esteem.
I bet she will find it in it, actually, because she already doesn't have it.
Yeah.
And I think that now with people, these huge people in the industry telling you how beautiful you are and actually feeling it, I'm sure after she sees her photos, she's like, wow, that's me, you know?
Yeah.
It'll come.
Yeah.
Well, girls, do you want to take a caller?
Yes, we do.
All right, caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, caller. Are you being camera shy?
Audio.
Ooh.
Oh, hello. Hey, caller, what's your name?
Are you a scout?
Are you a stalker? You're creepy sounding and you haven't even said anything.
Is that someone's
Sorry,
dad?
just that, I don't like hearing my voice on the radio. It sounds very weird.
Well, turn it
Oh,
off.
it sounds great. You've got a deep,
exactly.
dark,
Yes, you
handsome
do.
serial killer
Yeah.
voice.
Where are you from? And what's your name?
My name is Sam from Houston, Texas.
Oh.
Hi, Sam.
What up, Houston?
Texas, home of Kelsie from Scouted and Paige Parks. Do you know any of these people by chance?
I've heard of Paige Parks.
Have
yeah.
you? Is she I'm sure she seems like a really good scout, so she must be pretty famous.
Yeah, I've heard.
What do you do? Are you in the industry?
I'm trying to get into it.
As a model or as a scout or?
Yeah, as a model.
Okay, so have you tried to? You should meet up with Paige Parks.
Well, it's because my dad lives in LA, so I've been around to a lot of agencies, and one time I've been scammed by an agency, so it's kind of hard to figure out which agencies are not fake and which ones are.
Absolutely. That's what we were talking about in the beginning of the show. You have to really do your research and make sure if you're approached by someone, you never want to be so quick to give away your money, we were saying in the beginning.
And the internet is a really good resource. If you go online and just type in the name that so-and-so had given you of their agency, this can be with modeling agencies or talent agencies, you'll get a good report from people just giving reviews. Like, I got screwed over by this company, or they don't pay, or they're creepy. You can always find online in a super quick research.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Have you been
So,
watching?
were you a model?
Yes, a couple of us on the panel were models. You may have seen us
Well,
on
yeah,
TV.
I know Brittany from Top Model, so.
Yes. She's the best.
Have you?
Yeah, you're my favorite. I love you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Party on.
Jesse.
All right. Well, thank you so much, caller. Do you have any last questions for us?
Yeah, my last question is, like, when you break into the industry, like, what advice can you give for me?
Well, you definitely, Brittany, I'm sure you can give some advice, but I would say if you really want it, then stay true to who you are, keep going. You're going to get a lot of no's, and, you know, keep trying to the point of reason. You don't want to spend $10,000 and end up with nothing. You really shouldn't be spending too much money to get into the industry, and just do your research, find agents, send your photos, get some great photos, take 4 Polaroids from all different angles, put your stats together, and send it in 50 emails to 50 different agencies.
And a lot of them have open calls. You can
Yes.
check in with agencies, just give them a call up, find their number, call them, and find out when they're open. A lot of them have like an open call weekly, so you can go in and see them. But I definitely give the advice if you are wanting to get into like kind of modeling or whatever, and I give this advice to absolutely everyone. It is such a tough industry, and they're always looking for something very particular, and that is always changing. Look, they don't even get the Cindy Crawford looking ones anymore. It's always about like very unique, very different, like as what we saw on Scouted, that they would not have taken them back in the 90s era. These two girls would not have made it. So it's always changing. If you do want to be in the industry and you want something like you really want to be in this crazy entertainment world, get into classes. I tell people all the time, get a commercial agent. You can get like modeling kind of things where they're like, you know, commercials are always changing. They'll need like a really gorgeous, stunning man, and they might need a little one that's like a little skinnier or scrawnier. I mean, for commercials, there's not one particular look. Like it's kind of one look always what's popular in the industry. But with commercials, and they always need every shape and sizes, and it's just always good because that's where you make more money anyways, people. The modeling age is really not as big unless you are huge and you're one of the Victoria's Secret models or you're Tyson Beckford, then you're really not gonna make a ton of money. You can like live on it a little bit, maybe. A lot of models that actually get even campaigns have to get normal jobs too. It's not like I'm a model, it's so glamorous, I just fly around 10 different countries in 5 days. No, it's not. You have your job, your day job, and then you book jobs here and there. I really, really stress, if you want to be in this industry, get into classes. It really makes a big difference, and like I said, you'll make more money if you book a commercial. Oh, you may book way more than any covers of magazines pay nothing too. It's like
But what about what's the point where you have to stop taking classes when it's like, okay, you should actually be working at this point, or like classes are now too much of an investment?
It just depends on what your level of eagerness to get in it. I mean,
as long as you're willing.
Someday that we all have to hang up our our model hat or whatever, like or just trying to make it. I mean, when you have to finally get a job, if you can have a job and still take classes at night or whatever, and then get an agent, you just have to be focused. It's a full-time job when you're not making any money at it. I mean, you will need to make so much, I mean, this industry is. I mean, you have to be working all the time. And you don't make anything for half of it. It's your time. So you just always have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll get some kind of break.
Fingers crossed, legs open.
In this city, yes.
We're rooting for you, caller, though. And stay tuned every week. You can call in and tell us what you think.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thanks for calling.
Bye, Houston.
Bye. All right, so there you go. We got some great advice in, and just to wrap up Kelsie, she got signed, and they're prepping her for next season's Fashion Week. So I'm gonna look out for her, and we'll see what happens.
I'm going to ask this before I forget. How just in terms of the production value of the show, how real do you think it is do you think she was really just in that parking lot, or do you think they met her beforehand and then had that set up.
They probably totally did
Yeah,
that.
because they can't. The cost of just riding around with someone in a car for like hours and hours and hours, and all you see is fat people. It's like, they have
Well,
to
what
have
they
that
may
somewhat
do
set up.
also, though, is they may film them scouting a bunch of different girls and then
then
spend a
choose the
whole day
best
filming them, bringing the girls into the agency for those little meetings. Maybe they'll film 10 of them and see who really works and who has a great story.
Yeah.
They could do it that way. But I do think it's organic, even if they scout them beforehand.
Yeah, I think they just might have to run it, be like,
Right.
okay, we need to run this
We found
again.
this-
And that would be, they probably do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me if they just had something. But I was wondering, or not wondering, but, oh, dang it, now I was thinking about that. I do this all the time.
Well, that's all right. We're going to should we take a quick commercial, Jesse? All right, we're going to take a quick commercial. Brittany will think of what she was going to say, and we also have some news and gossip.
Good.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV. AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
I feel like we're really grooving to
I
that
know, I love
commercial.
that.
That is chill.
I need a cognac and a cigar.
I know, I was doing this. I don't really smoke, though, people, but don't I look like I do?
It's a good look.
Maybe I don't, actually.
Okay, so I remember what I was going to say.
Yes.
Thank goodness. It was going to kill me. I wonder, I hope they do on the show Scouted. I want to see what the girls are doing, like maybe a recap with the girls that they do sign.
Yeah.
I want to see if she did book something for Fashion Week, because it's kind of like an interesting, I really hope they do that.
Yeah.
If any of the producers or writers or whatever are listening right now, please do a recap.
Actually,
Please do a
Yeah.
recap. Or maybe we'll do our own recap if they don't.
Yeah,
we'll find you.
We'll stalk the girls.
It'd be nice.
I'll act like a creepy scout. Like, hey, I know you've been scouted, but
Second try.
It would be
Yeah.
nice
The
to
charm.
see what the other girls are doing too, the ones that weren't,
Yeah,
signed,
what they
to
did.
see if
yeah,
they're
did
still
she ever
pursuing-
sign with
yeah.
anyone else?
Like Jennifer
Like, does
from
Valenteen
last
go on to
week.
get pregnant? Like, that's
Probably.
what I want to know.
Yeah. She'll be on Teen
She's on
Mom.
Teen
Yeah,
Mom.
Teen Mom next.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Just tune into Teen Mom.
No,
to see
she's
what
on. I
Valenteen's
didn't know
up
I was
to.
pregnant.
Which
That's-
is
she's
premiering.
on that one.
Oh, my God.
I want to do my own show called I didn't want to know I was pregnant. And women that really kind of know they are, but they don't want to face it, that would be me. Or so I'd be still out drinking all the time. I'd be like, no, I just haven't had my period in like 6 months. I'm fine. That's the show I want to be on.
Oh, my God. Well.
So hold up. What a so okay, hold on.
All right, you think,
I
because
know,
we're going
I'm
to give a little news and gossip. A lot of our fans, based on our caller, we know a lot of you are looking for information on the industry, how to get in. That's what the show is all about. So I'm going to share some news and gossip and tips straight from the experts. Well, stylists caught up with Michael Flutie and Barry Smither from the show, obviously, and they had some great advice for anyone hoping to be a model. Flutie's call was that he said for anyone that's starting out, his main tip is always look at it as a profession. Oh, did we not call that? Because that's what it is. Look at it as a business, treat it as one. See? Always listen to your management. Don't make a stink or take the reins in your own hands and think you know. Because you don't. I added that. Be teachable and also stay true to yourself. Smither, also big on working out. She said take care of your body. She, by the way, just so you know, to stay fit, she does 5 months of spinning, weight training. Then she gets bored. She'll do 5 months of running, 15 miles a week. And breaks it all up. So she definitely recommends healthy. You really do have to take care. Like, you're like an athlete when you're in this business. It's like the way athletes have to take care of their body. Not that you train the same way, but models have to eat right, take care of their body, have a healthy lifestyle. And she also recommended that she always has a playlist on iTunes called Modeling Music, and that it's so crucial as a model, which it really is. Like when you're doing a photo shoot, she said, if you don't have good music, it's very challenging. It gets your body loose. So I love that, because you definitely always need a good playlist, pump in, practice your runway walk at home, you know, so that's some good advice. And some other advice from Danny Stahl she said it's on AOL that it's important for a model to have a strong sense of style, because it really translates into the way they wear the clothes, which is true. You have to understand what you're wearing, why you're wearing it, who you're wearing it for.
Right, for example, with Valenteen, had no idea.
No exactly.
And couldn't wear the clothes comfortably.
And she's like, I just want to wear this dress because it's fluffy, you know.
Right.
You know, it contributes to your ultimate brand. She said, think about it. Models who've made it in the business, Kate Moss, Naomi Campbell, Agnes Dean, they're not just clothes hangers. They're the ones that have that extra thing going on. And part of that comes from understanding what they're wearing. So when you know what you're wearing and you know how to wear it, you convey the message or the mood that people can connect with. So that's from Danny Stahl. And just a little extra gossip. Mr. Scott Lips, that you see just a very little bit of on the show, he is stepping out from behind the scenes, not only with this show, but with his self-focused blog called Pop Lips. You guys have to check it out. If you want to see what it's really like to hang around with the president of a modeling agency and his models, just look at his blog and see if you want to be part of that. It's a photo diary of his adventures, highlighted by Tumblr as one of the most interesting and best fashion blogs out there, and it shows him practically every night at a cool party or restaurant. And he's a man about town, according to Mr. Hilfiger, but not in an annoying, self-promoting way. He manages to appear in picture after picture with rock stars like Nick Rhodes of Duran Duran, assorted scenesters, and client models without being a total jerk. I don't know if I believe that. But he says that social media can be used as a huge tool to turn an unknown model into an it girl. So that's another thing. Social, you know, America's Next Top Model All-Stars is all about branding this season, because it's about doing so much more than just what traditional modeling used to be. It's about getting out there on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever.
YouTube,
you promote yourself.
doing videos and
Exactly. They do videos now, the girls, where it used to just be stills. So totally changing. So that's your news and gossip and some great tips right from all the experts of the show. Now, Brittany, did you remember what you were going to say?
Oh, I just wasn't even listening anymore. To my head, I mean, not to you.
I was going to say, I thought that was interesting. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no, that's why I don't remember. I've already moved on from my thought process. I mean, what do I really have that's important to say anyway? Let's face it.
She was looking at Pop Lips on the iPad.
Yes.
She's actually partying with him tonight, now that you heard that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, guys. Well, let's get into some predictions for next week.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Ooh, it's creepy. I'm a photographer.
Well, are you a model? Do you want to be a dead one?
I kind of like being creepy. Anyway, well, it looks like next week we're going to have breakdown of some sort, but it's not with the model. It looks like one of the moms was having like a panic attack in the middle of the airport, which leads me to believe we're going to have another momager drama queen mom coming into the scene.
Yeah.
Which really does happen, people. I mean, you know.
Gosh. They're the worst.
So when you're underage, you have to have your parents there in the meeting.
Well, yeah,
is it required?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, when you're under 18, I think you have to, right?
Because in the preview he said, well, you need someone here.
Because then because you can't sign without, like a minor can't sign.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to have a parent. My mom went with me to New York when I was 17. Yeah, you have to have a parent go with you and kind of be there when you sign the contract, and they have to sign too. So yeah, you can't just do it on your own.
Yeah, I think that mom had a panic attack. She was afraid of flying or something.
Oh my gosh. Well, we'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah. I love train wrecks.
Except it's a plane wreck.
I was going to say plane wreck. In this case, plane wreck. Yeah.
Now, the other thing that they previewed is that model who looks a little bit older, by the way. I don't know if she is, but she looked a little bit older. I think it was with the scout Kristen, and she had something she had to tell her.
Oh, yeah.
I was curious. I thought maybe she has a baby, has a child or something. What did you guys think of that?
That's what I thought immediately.
I thought maybe she was going to say something about her age. Like maybe she lied about her age or something.
Either that or, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Crack problem.
Well, as we said, that doesn't always hurt. Although we don't recommend it here on AfterBuzz
No, we
TV.
do not. Or Brittany Brower models.
Well, everyone, that is it for tonight. But let's get a quick round of everybody where we can find you and follow you and tweet our questions and thoughts on the show week to week. Go ahead, starting with Kendra.
My Twitter handle is at Kendra Kabasele, so it's Kendra, Kendra, Kabasele, and my website is the same, kendrakabasele.com.
Awesome.
And go to my Twitter page, twitter.com. I always have to say that. I don't know why. It just feels unofficial if I don't say it. Kristen Carney. It's KristenCarney. And please go to my blog called Sweat the Small Stuff with Kristen.com and like it on Facebook so I can look super popular.
Yay. Oh my God.
It's funny. Read it.
Well, I don't doubt it, you comedian, you.
Yes, I will. Hey guys, BrittanyBrower.com is where you should go, and you can see all my. I do all these top. It's the only place to be. Let's face it. And I have my web series called Topped Off. Go watch it. It's a lot of fun and a lot of drinking. And then also my Twitter is at Brittany Brower, and go follow me. If you're not following me, then you are missing out.
Trust me, you are, because I follow her. It's fantastic.
I spent a whole day the other day dedicated to Christmas carols, and which ones I hated and which ones I loved.
I actually unfollowed you for that day.
Yeah, you can. I mean, that's what kind of gold I have over here, guys. That's what kind of genius.
Well,
God.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. I'm done.
I have a Twitter too, you know. It's Jackie Miranne. But also, guys, we are going to be drinking on Thursday for the live Top Model finale.
I can't believe it's over.
I can't believe it.
We're gonna
Are you
get
happy
drunk.
or sad or a little bit of both?
You know, I've had fun. Thanks to AfterBuzz and you, Jackie, I've had such a blast being able to kind of still watch the show and still give my 2 cents. So it's going to be bittersweet.
We'll
But I'm
wash it
kinda
all
ready.
away
Do you know
with
who
champagne.
wins? Do you know who wins?
I don't. That they keep the final 3 from us. I mean, all the way through, I've known everyone who goes. And I was with them the entire time. I was even with them the night the final elimination, but they kept them completely separated from us, and they would not let us even ride on the same bus with them on the way to the airport for the final 3. So I really don't know. So it's gonna be. This is exciting for me because I actually
Your
get
guess
to
is as
watch
good as ours.
and not be. I get to watch and be like, oh, I don't know.
So tweet with us on Thursday, tweet with us on Wednesday for the show, and then we'll be here live. And guess what? We have another all-star joining us. You'll have to tune in to see who it is. But for now, we're going to go, and we'll see you next week for Scouted. Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The big bad wolf. The big bad wolf. The big bad wolf. The big bad wolf.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.